Hello, welcome to Reading Rascals. I'm Miss Shannon. For those of you who are new to the channel, thank you for visiting. Please consider becoming a subscriber and you will see my weekly videos designed for children ages 4 to 8. For those rascals returning, nice to see you again. Now, rascals, you know when Miss Shannon reads story time, I'm always joined by my rascal friend, Ray. Where is that raccoon hiding today? Is she by the clock? I don't see her. Is she sitting in one of the chairs? No. Is she sitting on the rug waiting for story time? No. What do you think, rascals? Where is she? Do you see her? You're right. She's hiding in Miss Shannon's hair. Come out, Ray, and say hello. Now, rascals, if you have a special stuffed animal or a cozy blanket that you would like for story time, press pause and go get it now. Today we will be reading two stories, both about friendship. Our first story is called Best Friend Sleepover, written by Jacqueline Rogers. Our second story will be Old Bear, written by Jane Hissey. Let's begin. Get cozy. Gilbert was invited to a slumber party at Eddie Bellow's house. Their best friends from school would be there, Ricky Rhino and Connor Crocodile. But Gilbert had never slept over at anyone's house before. As his mother helped him pack, he was both excited and a little nervous. Everything at Eddie's is huge, Gilbert said to his mom. What if I can't find the bathroom in the dark tonight? Don't worry, she said. Your friends will help you. But what if I can't fall asleep without my good night song? Just remember to pack Clarence your clown, said his mother. He'll take my place and you'll be fine. Now here's Clarence, Gilbert's clown. It's his special stuffed animal, like Ray is mine. Who's your special stuffed animal? Do you have it with you right now? Gilbert's mother dropped him off at Eddie's house, and by the time the four friends greeted each other, Gilbert had forgotten all about being worried. That's what friends do, don't they? They're so fun to see new friends. First, Mrs. Bellows brought out a huge box of funny old clothes and costumes. When the boys grew tired of playing dress up, they played with Eddie's racetrack and cars. Ricky made a bridge for the cars to go under, and Gilbert just had to try it out. Can you see how Gilbert went under the racetrack and it broke? Ricky Rhino does not look pleased. Gilbert was it during hide and seek. Can you find where they're hiding? I see a little elephant tail and a crocodile tail. And how did Ricky Rhino get way up there? And he was last at Pin the Flies on the hyena. That's when Mr. Bellows showed up with a big flat box. Okay, Ras, what are they having for dinner? Can you guess? If you guessed pizza, you were right. Yum, pizza, said Connor. I could eat 3 slices. I could eat 6, said Eddie. And then it happened. Gilbert started it. The best pillow fight ever. Until Mr. Bellows put a stop to it. Next, the boys settled in with big sheets of paper and Eddie's new markers. They quietly began to draw. I love your circus picture, Ricky told Gilbert. Can I have it? No, Gilbert said. I want to take it home to my mom. Finally, Mrs. Bellows called from the kitchen. It was time to clean up. It was way past everyone's bedtime. The four friends washed and brushed their teeth. Look at what happened to Gilbert. Do you see the elephant squirting him with his trunk? They're being silly, aren't they? At last, Connor, Eddie, Ricky, and Gilbert climbed into their sleeping bags and got snuggly for the night. But Gilbert couldn't fall asleep. I miss my mom, he whispered, and I forgot to pack Clarence. Gilbert tried not to cry, but a big tear rolled down his cheek. Poor Gilbert. No one knew what to do. Mrs. Bellows tried a glass of warm milk and honey. Mr. Bellows tried to read him a story, but poor Gilbert just cried and cried. Mrs. Bellows was about to call Gilbert's mom when suddenly Connor had an idea. He picked up his ukulele and started to play his favorite song. Eddie joined in, drumming on the pizza box, and Ricky tapped on the wooden cups. So his friends are trying to make music to cheer up Gilbert. Then Ricky did something very special. He gave Gilbert his teddy bear. Gilbert hugged the bear close, and within minutes, the boys were fast asleep. That was so nice. He shared his special stuffed animal so Gilbert could fall asleep. By morning, Gilbert was feeling just fine. Mrs. Bellows brought in breakfast on a large tray. The boys packed up their things, and now it was Gilbert's turn to do something special. He gave Ricky his circus picture. I can draw another one for my mom, he said. Thanks, Gilbert, said Ricky. When the parents came to pick up their boys, Gilbert said his thank yous and goodbyes. Gilbert's mom gave him a hug. I found Clarence last night. Did you miss him? I was okay, Mom, said Gilbert with a smile. I had my best friends with me. I love that story because it talks about how friends can help you. In this story, the friends helped Gilbert have his first sleepover and get through it and have a fun time. Now, this is a good time, rascals. If you are too tired, you need a nap or bedtime, I will say goodnight to you. For those of you who have one more story in you, I will read you one more. It's called Old Bear by Jane Hissey. It wasn't anybody's birthday, but Bramwell Brown had a feeling that today was going to be a special day. He was sitting thoughtfully on the windowsill with his friends, Duck, Rabbit, and Little Bear, when he suddenly remembered that someone wasn't there that should be. A very long time ago, he had seen his good friend, Old Bear, being packed away in a box. Then he was taken up a ladder through a trap door into the attic. The children were being too rough with him, and he needed to go somewhere to be safe for a while. So that is where Old Bear is. See Old Bear? He's now in the attic, which is upstairs in your house. Has he been forgotten, do you think? Bramwell asked his friends. I think he might have been, said Rabbit. Well, said Little Bear, isn't it time that he come back down and join us? The children are now older and will look after him properly. Let's go and get him. What a marvelous idea, said Bramwell. But how can we rescue him? It's a long way up in the attic, and we haven't got a ladder. We could build a tower with blocks, suggested Little Bear. Rabbit collected all the blocks, and the others set about building their tower. It grew very, very tall, and Little Bear was just about to put the last block on when the tower started to wobble. Look out, he cried, as the whole thing came tumbling down. "Never mind," said Bramwell, helping Little Bear to his feet. "We'll just have to think of something else." "Let's try making ourselves into a tower," said Duck. "Good idea," said Bramwell. Little Bear climbed on top of Rabbit's head, and Rabbit hopped on Duck's beak. They stretched up as far as they could, but then Duck opened his beak to say something, and Rabbit started to wobble, and they all collapsed on top of Bramwell. "Sorry," said Duck. "Perhaps that wasn't a very good idea." "Not one of your best," replied Bramwell from somewhere underneath the pile. "I know," said Rabbit. "Let's try bouncing on the bed." "Trust you to think of that," said Bramwell. "You can never resist a bit of bouncing," because he's a rabbit, right? He likes to hop. Rabbit climbed up on the bed and began to bounce up and down, and the others joined in. They bounced higher and higher, but still could not bounce high enough to reach the trap door in the attic. Duck began to cry. "Oh dear," he sobbed. "What are we going to do now? We'll never be able to rescue Old Bear, and he'll be stuck up there and get lonelier and lonelier forever and ever." "We mustn't give up," said Bramwell firmly. "Come on, Little Bear. You're good at ideas." But Little Bear had already noticed a plant in the corner of the room. See, Little Bear? He has another idea. I like that they don't give up. "I've got it," he cried. "I could climb up this plant, swing from the leaves, kick the trapdoor open, and jump in." In case it wobbled, Bramwell, Brown, Duck, and Rabbit steadied the pot. Little Bear bravely climbed up the plant until he reached the very top leaf. He took hold of it and started to swing to and fro. But he swung so hard that the leaf broke and he went crashing down. Luckily, Bramwell Brown was right underneath him and caught him with his paws. "That was a rotten idea," said Little Bear. "What was I thinking?" said Duck. "Aha," said Bramwell. "That's my dear Duck has given me a very good idea. I really think this one might work." In the corner of the playroom was a little wooden airplane with a propeller that went around and round. "We could use this plane to get to the trap door," said Bramwell. "Rather dangerous, I know, but quite honestly, I can't bear to think of Old Bear up there for 1 minute longer." "I'll be the pilot," said Rabbit, hopping up and down, making airplane noises. "And I'll stand on the back and push the trapdoor open with my paintbrush," said Little Bear. "But how will we get down?" asked Duck. "I've already thought of that," said Bramwell, who hadn't really but quickly did. "They can use these handkerchiefs as parachutes, and we'll catch them as they land." So they have another idea. Do you think this one will work, rascals? Let's find out. Bramwell gave Little Bear 2 big handkerchiefs and a flashlight so he could see into the attic. Then he began to wind up the propeller of the plane. So take your little finger, rascal, and try to vroom, vroom. We're going to rev the propeller for the plane. And now we're going to count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. They're off. The plane whizzed along the carpet and flew up into the air. The little plane flew beautifully, and the first time they passed the trap door, Little Bear was able to push the lid open with his paintbrush. Then Rabbit circled the plane again, this time very close to the hole. Little Bear grabbed the edge and with a mighty heave pulled himself up into the attic. He got out his flashlight and looked around. The attic was very dark and quiet, full of boxes and old clothes and dust. He couldn't see Old Bear at all. "Any bears up here?" he whispered, and stood to listen. From somewhere quite near, he heard a muffled grrr, followed by, "Did someone say something?" Little Bear moved a few things aside, and there, popped up against a cardboard box, covered in dust, was Old Bear. They found him. There he is, Old Bear. Little Bear jumped up and down with excitement. Old Bear, I found you," he shouted. "So you have," said Old Bear. "Have you been lonely?" asked Little Bear. "Quite lonely," said Old Bear, "but I've been asleep for a long time." "Well," said Little Bear kindly, "would you like to come back to the playroom with us now?" "Oh, that would be lovely," replied Old Bear. "But how will we get down?" "Don't worry about that," said Little Bear. "Bramwell has thought of everything. He's given us these handkerchiefs to use as parachutes." "Good old Bramwell," said the old Teddy. "I'm glad he didn't forget me." Old Bear stood up and shook the dust off of his fur, and Little Bear helped him into his parachute. They went over to the hole in the ceiling. "Ready?" shouted Rabbit. "Steady," shouted Duck. "Go," said Bramwell. The two bears leapt bravely from the hole in the ceiling. Their handkerchief parachutes opened up and they floated gently down, landing safely into the blanket. "Welcome home, Old Bear," said Bramwell Brown, patting his friend on the back. The others patted him too, just to make him feel at home. "It's nice to have you back," they said. "It's nice to be back," replied Old Bear. That night, when all the animals were tucked in bed, Bramwell thought about the day's adventures and looked at the others. Rabbit was dreaming excited dreams about bouncing in an airplane. Duck was dreaming that he really could fly, with rescuing bears from all sorts of high places. And Little Bear was dreaming in the attic, and Old Bear was dreaming about the good times he would have now that he was back with his friends. "I knew it was going to be a special day," said Bramwell as he smiled to himself. Okay, rascals, have a good nap or a good dream sleep. I'll see you soon. If you need me, you can email me at info@readingrascals.org. Take care.